adventure, puzzles, space. These were the ingredients chosen to create the perfect visual novel. But Astronomic Games accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction: a dummy-thick Amazon. Pegasus-5 Gone Astray is a very well put together adventure game that moonlights as a visual novel. What made this game stand out for me from others in the crowd was the great character art, multiple branching storylines, and one cyborg hottie by the name of Cassina. Soon. You play as Adan, a guy who starts his first day on the cargo ship Pegasus-5. When you first begin, you can select what he looks like, what background he has, which also affects your starting stat points, and like a bonus stat point. These come into play as certain story sections will have a skill check, or where you can only perform an action if you have an X stat at a certain level. And of course, your first day goes swimmingly well, as your ship is hacked and you're all sent out into deep space without a clue how you got there, or why. Paranoia sets in and you have to gain the trust of the crew while getting to the bottom of the mystery. I'll admit, the mystery reveal felt a little flat, but everything else was pretty entertaining, including some of the answers and responses you can go with. I got one person shot in the head because they kept acting like I was a tough guy. It was Cassina, so I saved scummed immediately. Please forgive me, my goddess. I loved the artwork. It was clean, professional, fit the tone of the game, top-notch all around. There were a lot of branching story paths. The story itself is pretty well written, but I began to lose count with how many different paths it could actually take. Make a wrong decision and someone can actually die. Ugh, so much for a second date. There's lots of replay value. With those branching storyline paths and several romance options, it's a game that begs the player to keep going for another round. And I appreciated that each romance option felt unique in both personality and looks. The game all but shoves Ilaria at you as a romance option. The one with the white skin. She's the easiest to romance simply because it's rather difficult to not get on her good side, so it can throw off players who are trying for another romance. She is the low-hanging fruit. Gotta climb the tree that is Cassina for the good stuff. There are no harems. Sorry, space weebs. You gotta keep it monogamous this time. And oh good god, that walking animation. Wow. Adan is one laid-back kind of guy. Some players will have to jump through hoops to just get it to run. I was one of them. There are instructions on the game's Steam page, but it's extra steps that a player should not have to go through just to get the game to run. If it's a plugin problem, either fix it or replace it. There are no male romance options. I'm not going to go SJW on this game because I am cis-hetero trash, but there were some attractive male characters, and even just having the option would have been nice. You want a tip to write gay romance? Write a straight one, then make both of them the same sex. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. 100% is needed for the will to live sequences. There's a part of the game where someone from your crew will be gravely injured and you need to get their will to live to 100%. The problem is, if you haven't saved healing items or raised your medical stat enough, you fail even if you're at 90%. It's frustrating and makes the player feel like they've made wrong decisions rather than just poor ones. There are no redheads. I mean, come on! Well, even with some glaring shortcomings in romance options and some story plot holes, this game is worth the player's time. It moves along at a brisk pace, and for a game with so many options and replay value, that's a godsend. It's only $8 Canadian on Steam, and I'd say it's worth it at that price, and a must-have on sale, even if games like this aren't really your thing. Plus, you get to melt the icy heart of the Amazonian cyborg. Meow. I'm HawkZombie. Thanks for listening.